eternal true peace wave to you all. I come in the name of the Creator through the elements of fire, earth, air, water, and ether. My name is Prophet, and you're tuned into the channel Eternal Prophet. I know in the previous video I told y'all, man, I was going to start breaking down to y'all the 10 commandments of life, that if any person follow these 10 commandments, and they're not in the Bible, but, you know, the 10 commandments in the Bible are good too. You follow the 10 commandments in the Bible, you're straight. But 10 commandments for those who are past religion, or those who don't have religions, or if you are out of religion, these are perfect 10 things that can make your life a perfect heaven. And today I'm going to break down number one. Number one is thinking positive, the foundation of all things, thinking positive. I'm going to break down the 10 reasons why. Yes, and I forgot to mention that I'm going to break down the 10 commandments, and I'm going to give you 10 reasons why each 10 commandment is a positive and great thing to be following in your life, and if applied to your life, you'll reap the benefits of it. Okay, so today, number one, we're going to be talking about number one, thinking positive. Thinking positive, and you might as well put it in a subtitle or slash or parentheses, affirmations. So I'm going to break you down the 10 reasons why thinking positive is a great thing to do. And then on top of that, after that, I'm going to break down the actual affirmation process into actual exercises and affirmation processes that you can practice and do to start programming your mind and start thinking positive for those who don't know how already. Okay, so I wrote the 10 reasons right here out the top of my brain, you know what I'm saying, and I put it on a piece of paper, you heard me. Like I said before, for those who don't know me, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, so excuse my speech if I offend you, or excuse my language if I rub you the wrong way in the way I talk. Don't get offended by it. It's all love. I love y'all infinitely. But I'm just about to break down these points. And number one, think positive. Number one I had wrote down, it gives you the belief to achieve greater. All right. And what I mean by that is, first and foremost, in order for us to accomplish anything in life, we gotta feel like that we can do it. That we gotta feel like, or have some type of something in us that gives us the notion that we can accomplish this certain feat. Okay? And when you're thinking negative about yourself, when you're thinking down on yourself, when you're constantly beating yourself up and never seeing the good in yourself, what it tends to do is it tends to make you fail to believe and underachieve. So you automatically expecting a loss. You're automatically expecting failure, and these things are appearing in your life because the universe is going to premiere them right there like a big old movie, right there in front of your face. Whatever you're thinking, and the dominating thought in your brain is God. So we know one thing: if you're thinking these negative things, you ain't going to even believe in yourself enough to achieve anything. So therefore, we know if you think positive though, but if you start thinking positive, what it does is it gives you the foundation of belief that, hey, I can make it, I can ace this test, hey, I can get this job, hey, I can save this village, hey, I can save this child. But it all starts with thinking that you can do it in the first place. We know that thoughts are things, and we send them things out there. So that was the number one thing, man, the foundation of it. Just believing that thinking positive sets the platform up for you to believe that you can even do better. Okay, so that you can accomplish anything or any goal that positive goal that you're trying to achieve. All right, and number two, I wrote down, it makes the people around you, it makes people around you warm up to your ideas. It makes the people around you start to emulate your behavior. Once they see what your behavior is and you see that it's working, they start to adopt it subconsciously, unconsciously on their own. Okay, and because you know one thing for certain, two things for sure: association brings on assimilation. Those who we closely associate with the most, we tend to emulate. Not only those who we closely associate the most, but those who we have an affinity for, who we closely associate the most. Okay, so meaning we have to like the person also. You know, I could be closely associated to somebody, but if I don't like them, I'm not going to emulate them. But so not only do I have to be closely associated to you, but I have to like you, so I love you, like my friends or my family or anything like that. And if my friends and my family and I love them and they're thinking negative things, eventually that thing is going to rub off on me because I don't have nobody else to combat that with the positivity to help me see another way. Okay, So when you start thinking positive though, and you start walking around with a smile on your face, you start greeting people, first and foremost, you start feeling good about yourself, and then the people around you just start for some reason you make the people around you feel better because you bring that bright energy to the group, you bring that bright energy to whatever situation that you're approaching. So it makes people around you feel better, okay? The next, number 3, what I had wrote down was, it creates a self-esteem. Okay, when you thinking negative about yourself, and when you constantly always bombarded by negativity and entertaining it in your mind to where it's always in your mind, then what happens is you start to degenerate. You start to degenerate, and not only do you start to degenerate, that's when depression sets in. If you look at the statistics in America, a lot of Americans, I don't know the number, but a lot of Americans suffer from depression. Depression from what? Depression because they don't have no self-esteem. Nobody ain't thinking positive. They're only seeing the bad in the world. They're only seeing the cold in the world, and ain't thinking positive. So therefore, it has them with a low self-esteem, and this brings about depression. And we know depression is a negative frequency that's going to have you doing all kinds of things that are associated with insanity. But when you're thinking positive and you start to train yourself to think positive, then you start to believe that there is something, that you deserve something. And when you believe that you deserve something, when you believe that you are entitled to this, then that creates a certain amount of esteem within you that holds you to the responsibility of handling the duties that are associated with it. Okay, so yes, thinking positive creates a self-esteem, like that dude when Cat Williams said in one of his stand-ups. It's called self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta get within ourselves, and that's why thinking positive helps the self to be esteemed. Okay, steam. Just think about steam going up. You heard me? And when you think about steam going up, esteem, you know what I'm saying? That's energy and steam that's going up. That's you. So self-esteem, that's yourself going up. Okay, so moving right along. I would like to say that, the 4th thing I wrote down was, it protects you from the negative frequency attacks. Okay. Now, some people might say, well, what are negative frequency attacks? Somebody just, got a machine somewhere and they're just bombarding. No, they're not that fancy, but, a negative attack can be somebody who's thinking negative about you or hating on you. Okay, they got a lot of people who are hating the fact that you are succeeding. They got a lot of people who are hating the fact that you are thinking positive. They got a lot of people out there who don't want to see you do better than them because they don't even want to have the gumption or the gall to even must try to do better for themselves. So they want to, you know the old saying, misery loves company. So they want to have some company with them. And since you don't want to be in a company, they hating on you. And guess what? They're thinking negative of you, and this negative thought wave is going towards you, and it's still an attack. But when you're thinking positive about yourself, when you're thinking positive about yourself, you put up a force field because you start to generate energy, that orgone energy. And when you start to generate that energy, what happens is you build a quote-unquote force field or protective bubble. So when negative attack or negative thought waves try to penetrate your existence, they bounce off because you're already surrounded by electromagnetic positivity, and that positivity is shunning off all kind of negative attacks. You might have I want to say say this for instance, a negative attack. A negative attack could be, okay, you told your fiance or you told your mother or whatever spouse in your life that you got a dream that you're kind of trying to accomplish, or you got something that you're trying to get done, right? And they might smile on your face and be like, oh yeah, that's good, baby, that's good. And behind, and when you're not looking, they probably thinking like, nah, he ain't gonna be able to accomplish that. They done sent a wave out there. And if you're not thinking positive about yourself, and if you're not thinking good about yourself, guess what? That wave could penetrate you, and that thought could enter into your existence, and that thought could take fester into your mind and manifest into a whole nother reality for yourself because you're not constantly feeding your mind positivity. So the negative has room to come in. Okay, so yeah, man, that's you gotta keep that you gotta keep that thing going. That was number 4. Okay, number 5. We're gonna it says number 5. Okay, so now number 5. We're halfway through it. So now I want to break down. In number 5 I want to break down this first. First you got the first 4 Down pat, meaning, you know what I'm saying, you got belief that you can achieve, right? You making the people around you positive about your attitude, right? You're creating the self-esteem, right? Getting rid of the insecurities, right? You know what I'm saying? You're getting protected from the negative frequencies and everything like that, right? So now, while all these things are happening for you, your negative frequencies or your negative encounters are happening less, and things are starting to look up for you, start to see this method is working for you, then you start to gain insight and that self-esteem and that other stuff start to create an affinity for yourself and a love for yourself. So when you start to love yourself, right? What love for yourself does, true love, infinite love, unconditional, eternal love that the Creator heart beats with, right? And when you have this for yourself, you start to have that for creation. Creation meaning Mother Earth. Creation meaning the things that Mother Earth produces, which is her land. We won't destroy her land because we are seeing the good in the creation, and we don't want to destroy that good. We don't kill her animals because we see the good in her animals. We see the good in the creatures, and we don't want to kill the creatures. We want to let them have their own world because we're above them. Okay? It starts to help you see that not everything is bad, right? Not everything is bad. Everything is not just a negative way, and what you want to see it, and it starts to make you see love for people. Okay, people, man, we got to get back to loving one another. We stop loving one another, man. We are all individuals, no matter our race, color, creed, or religion, but especially black people. I want to talk to y'all because we are the ones that have been damaged the most by this post-traumatic slave disorder, as Dr. Umar speaks about. Shout out to Dr. Umar, you the man, my nigga. But like I said before, man, you know, so therefore we gotta start loving one another, man, and stop limiting our love just to the people that's in our family. Stop limiting the love to the people that are just in our immediate vicinity, our immediate families, our immediate friendships. You know what I'm saying? Man, Jesus had love for the stranger. Prophet Muhammad had love for the stranger. Buddha had love for the stranger. Okay? And we profess to follow these people, but we don't even have love for the homeless. We don't have love for kids that's dying. We don't have love for strangers. And we want to say that we follow these people, and these people are our teachers, and we believe in these people are our saviors. But we refuse to emulate any of their behaviors, and it's not hard to do. All we got to do is just get back to the foundation of loving one another and loving one another and loving ourselves again. Okay, as black people and all people all together. Okay. If you want to, so we're going to, what that is, I think all right. So we're going to number 6. Okay. And number 6, gives the will to overcome. Okay, when you've then fortified yourself with thinking positive, and positive is your way of life, and positive thinking is what you are gonna be doing from here on out. It's not gonna lay up there and stop anything from you're not gonna stop anything from intruding in on your wave, right? Then what happens is you start gaining the will to overcome overwhelming odds. When all of the chips are down and everything is looking dim and everybody's counting you out, that positive force field, that positive fortified mind that you done drilled within yourself is gonna kick in, and man, you're gonna be able to make a way out of no way, as they say. You're gonna be able to overcome the impossible. And these things are things that we can't gain out of being negative. Being negative, you will not be able to overcome because you're too busy worrying about what's overcoming you. So how can you worry about overcoming anything when you worry about being a victim? You worry about what this person got on, what that person got on. You worry about what this person said, what that person said. And knowing that you're no better than anybody else, we're all going to see the grave. We're all are subject to change. Okay? So there are no big eyes and little U's. Okay, so now we begin to think positive and fortify ourselves. We begin to overcome all of the things that people say we can't do. Overcome all of the things that people say we wouldn't be able to accomplish. We begin to overcome it. Okay, so that was number 6. All right, so number 7, right, is going to be thinking positive opens up your mind. opens up your mind. I put / creative imagination. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just doing this straight off the hip. Okay. So when you're thinking positive, you're thinking about possibilities. Now, what that does is when you think about possibilities, the possibilities are what? Endless, because we live in an infinite universe, and an infinite universe is full of infinite possibilities, innumerable possibilities. Okay, so now when your mind has grasped the concept through thinking positive that this universe is full of infinite possibilities, and these infinite possibilities are available to you, then you bust open a way for an imagination that will not be able to be stopped. Whatever thing you put into existence, it will come to pass. The Quran and the Bible said that the Creator said, be and it is. The things that you want to be will be. Once you fortify yourself with thinking positive and keeping this as a way of lifestyle and as a way of living, period, for the rest of your life. This is not something you do for momentarily. This is not something you do just because, oh, it's the fad, it's the thing to do. No, this is a thing from the cradle to the grave you need to be doing, and this is why I'm bringing it in. This is for the people who don't know, but even for the people who do know, if you don't use it, you lose it. So you're just hearing this again just to remind you. So, you know, and I'm just hearing it myself, saying it just to remind myself, because as I'm saying it to y'all, I'm hearing it out of my mouth. So I gotta stay whole and steadfast to my word, because I'm a God and I'm a man of my word, right? So we're gonna move right along to number 8. Okay, number 8 talks about it helps to see the opportunities and the failures. See, when we thinking negative, we automatically see the quote-unquote negative situation as detrimental, as I want to say unaccomplishable, okay? And we lose before we even start, because we're not even giving ourselves a chance to think positive, to even have a chance to win, okay? So now what we're doing is, when an opportunity comes in the form of a failure, we don't see the opportunity, because all we see is the failure. We don't see, like, for instance, I'm going to give you a perfect example of what I'm telling you about. Okay, just say let's say you're Bob, and or your name is Jim, or whatever your name is out there, and you've been wanting to get this land. You got your own business and you doing it from the ground up, and you just beginning, and you've been thinking positive, man. And whenever things befall you, man, you don't let it get you down, man. Even when the negative things happen, you don't let it get you down, man. And you've been meaning to land a certain client, and you've been trying to get this certain client, but they're too high up the totem pole for you to get. But you know, if you got a chance to get in their presence, you'll be able to convince them to use your service or your product. And you just be thinking positive. So one day you're driving, man, you're riding around, man, and while you're riding around, and you're going home from work or wherever you're going to, right? You stopping at a red light. While you stop, you hear the back of your car go boom. Oh, you shook up, right? Now something negative just happened. Something negative just happened. Now you can choose to see this. You can see this incident as negative, or you can choose to see this incident as positive. What I mean by that is, if you choose to see this incident as negative, then you're gonna be like, MF gonna hit the back of my, oh man, I'm about to go ham, I'm about to go crazy. And you're gonna react, and you're not gonna see the opportunity. Peep it out. Because if you do it positive, and you do this, and you think it this way, it could be an alternative like this. If you're thinking positive, it could be, okay, when they hit you in the back, the first thing you thought about was, are you okay? And everybody in your car okay? Is everybody in their car okay? Let's go check to see if everybody in their car okay. If you were thinking negative, you wouldn't even try to check to see who's okay. But thinking positive, you probably go check to see if everybody in the car is okay. Go to see if everybody in the car is okay. It just so happened, guess what? It's the person up the totem pole who you've been trying to reach to get your services. But because you thought positive and you seen this as trying to be a humanitarian and help before you could gain, you ran across the exact very dream. It slammed into the back of you. You attracted to you like a magnet. And because you did not see the negative for the negative, you came up on an opportunity in the form that was negative. Yes, that back of that car that you just got hit, yeah, that was an unfortunate incident. But guess what? Look what happened on the back end. So this is what I mean by it helps you see the opportunities within failures. We automatically know. All right. So, number 9, we're going to get to, it gives you energy. Okay. When you thinking positive, okay, you charge your, we all know that a positive charge, right? A positive charge is more effective than a negative charge. They've done tests on water. They've done tests on things, especially waters. Water is definitely, the telltale whether something is positive or negative. They played negative waves on water and seen the shapes and recorded the shapes, and the shapes are ugly and gruesome, and they played positive waves on water and seen the shapes turn into beautiful things. So we know that positive and negative has a wave, and we know that a positive wave holds a way more positive charge than a negative charge, okay, than a negative wave. Okay, so now, when you're talking in forms of energy, we are electromagnetic beings, meaning that we are composed of 85% water, and that water is the reason why we're composed of this much water, because we are electric, and one of the things a good conduit for electricity is water. Okay, a lot of people don't know that. That's why they tell you don't step in water around electronics and things of that nature, because it's a fast conductor. It's an instant conductor of electricity, and you being an electromagnetic being, that's why you're composed of 85% water. Now, when you're thinking positive and you're using your cells and you're using your energy to think positive, you are therefore charging not only your soul, not only your spirit, but your mind and your body. You are charging up, right, with positive energy, and the things that probably normally make you tired wouldn't make you as tired. You'll probably be able to pull off feats that you wouldn't normally be able to do if you wouldn't think positive. Because when people think negative, it's draining. It drains you. A negative charge drains you. Like when you leave your lights on in your car and you go inside and you forget it after a long time, right? And when you forget it and you come back out and your battery don't want to start because your light been on all night because you forgot. That's something like with the negative. That's something like what negative energy does you. It drains you because it's just a draining thing. That's what it is. It's a sucker of souls. It's a sucker of good vibes. It's a sucker of energy. And if you're not careful, when you charge up with positive energy constantly, then you become susceptible and fall victim to it constantly. Okay? Okay, so yes, it gives you energy. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of those things. All right, and number 10, last but not least, okay, this one is very important because it's leading on into the second half when I'm talking about affirmations. But last but not least, number 10, it reprograms the mind. Okay? Now, what do you mean reprogram your mind? What do you mean reprogram your mind? All right, and for those that don't know, science has already proven that our bodies and our minds in tandem with one another, right? And everything that's in our physical being, right? This physical body, this physical shell you like to call yourself, but it's not yourself. It's just a vehicle for you to experience the road of life with. Okay? But this physical body has computer properties. It is biological, meaning it is organic. Comes from the earth, right? Comes from the nature, right? It is biological, okay? And it is mechanical, meaning it has machine properties. It operates just like a computer, okay? And we all know that computers are able to be what? Programmed, deprogrammed, okay? Programmed and deprogrammed and reprogrammed. Okay, so a lot of the things we've been taught in life aren't the actual truths of life. So we have to start, in order to start getting a positive focus on life, we have to start reprogramming our minds. And how do we reprogram our mind? I heard you talk about this positive stuff, Prophet, but how can I lay up there and start exhibiting and start feeling all these effects and thinking positive? Well, how do I start thinking positive? Okay, just like Kobe Bryant wakes up every morning and shoots 1,000 free throws and 1,000 jumpers every morning, even in the off season. Just like LeBron James does 500 dunks. Just because for exercise, just like Kevin Durant might run 50 miles, okay? This takes practice. That's good old-fashioned practice. I'm sorry, y'all gonna have to put some work in if you won't see this working. You feel me? So repetition. Right? And how do we practice? How do we practice? First and foremost, okay? We repeat. We learn whatever we learn, and we practice and we repeat. Repetition. Repetition is the father of learning. When you went to school to learn ABCs, when you went to school to learn algebra, when you went to school to learn trade or anything, you had to constantly repeat over and over the programming of whatever that skill or subject was, and ingest that, right? So that once you ingest that, your mind will be programmed to automatically know that, and you can automatically do what you automatically know, and that's how it's called a skill or a talent, okay? Well, some talents come natural. Some skill to learn, some talents come natural, okay? But in order to reprogram a mind, you must do affirmations. And what is affirmations? Okay, affirmations are, in my version, just keeping it simple, affirmations are saying something and meaning it. That's what an affirmation is. Saying something and meaning it. Okay? Now, what is, how do you reprogram your mind with affirmations? Simply, easy, through repetition. Okay? It's easy. I know it might sound like a lie at first, because when I used to try it, and when I started thinking positive, because I was thinking in a negative way, man, you know, a lot of things happened to me in my past, and a lot of things happened to me in life, man, and one day I'm going to get to that and share that with y'all, but I used to think a lot of negative things in my life, and the thing that helped me start thinking positive was affirmations. Constantly repeating positive phrases over and over and over. You say, well, damn, where am I going to do that at? Well, you can just go on YouTube and Google. Use YouTube and put it in the search bar. Positive affirmations for money. Positive affirmations for health. Positive affirmations for self-esteem. They have affirmations all over the internet that you can adopt as life mantras and repeat them over and over and over in your brain. When I say repeat them, I mean like this. Repeat over and over. Meaning 100 times in the morning, you're going to pick an affirmation, a positive affirmation. Let's say a positive affirmation is, I love my life. I love the universe. Okay? Or you can say, today is going to be a good day. Say it 100 times in the morning and say it 100 times at night for a month straight. And see how good your days be after a month straight. See how good you start feeling about your days after saying that 100 times in the morning and 100 times at night after a month straight. This is how you reprogram a mind. Through constant repetition. It's going to take repetition and constant work on your part. You're going to have to, and I know it's going to sound crazy at first, because you might be having a bad day, but you got to get yourself into the mind frame that I'm going to have a good day. I'm going to have a good day. And keep repeating it until you start to believe it. Keep repeating it until you start to believe it. Because once you start to believe it, then the universe is going to pick it up. And the universe is going to reveal it to you in the form of a physical manifestation of what you're repeating constantly over and over to yourself. Okay? So, yes, affirmations. And that was simple. It wasn't no long thing or long class on it or anything like that. But I'm sorry I kept y'all this long, man. Like I said before, stay tuned for the number 2 commandment, Life Commandment that I'm about to bring to y'all, man. I thank y'all for giving me the time, y'all time of day. You heard me, man. It's